Wario64 on X. Nintendo of Canada is changing pricing on the original Nintendo Switch family of systems and products in Canada based on market conditions, including OLED, non-OLED, light, physical/digital Switch games, accessories, amiibo, and this is the one that I really get stuck on. Nintendo Switch Online memberships. Because you can tell me that the hardware is being impacted by raising prices of shipping and containers and trucking, and the stores are charging this or that, the other thing. You can probably, I'm not going to like it, but I might be like, okay, whatever. I guess that's business is above my head, my pay grade. But you get to the NSO memberships, and I'm like, no. That's all digital. Nope, that's different. Raising costs of servers now, Nintendo too, for your own servers. Come on. And it comes to us from Newswire in Canada, which was listed here. It says Nintendo Switch pricing update, Vancouver, British Columbia, June 30th. Pricing for the original Nintendo Switch family of systems and products in Canada will change based on market conditions. And the craziest thing about this is the Switch 2 is not affected. The Switch 2 is not affected. So who the hell? I wouldn't buy a Switch 1 right now. Who the hell would buy a Switch 1 at a raised price? I would almost look at this situation and say that Nintendo is using this as a marketing opportunity to make it more incentivizing to have people be like, well, I should probably buy the Switch 2 because they're so much closer in price now. That would make a lot more sense. So spare me, Nintendo, on your BS that, market conditions change based on market conditions. If that's the case, why is the Nintendo Switch 2 saying the same price? Because that's not what the answer is. And you know they're not being honest with you on that. They also raised the price of all the amiibo and the online Switch memberships, which is another thing. I can't even start with that. And it'll be shared on August 1st. So they announce that it's going up in price, but then they say, we're not going to share it just yet. We're not going to share it just yet. We're going to just announce that it's going to go up, but we're not going to actually tell you about what went up. And this comes to us from Video Games Chronicle. They said, Nintendo announces Switch price increases in Canada amid U.S. trade tension, which is the most deceiving headline I could ever imagine, because none of this has anything to do with tariffs or trades or anything, because it's going to Canada from outside the country. It's not coming from the U.S. going to Canada. The U.S. tariffs have nothing to do at all with Canadian prices. That makes no sense. The cost of many Nintendo products will soon increase in Canada, but the Switch 2 isn't affected, which right there, again, tells you that this is all BS. Nintendo is looking at a way to find it more incentivizing for people to spend more money on a Switch 2 by raising the price of the original Switch if you're in the market to get a Nintendo console. Nintendo has confirmed it will raise prices for many of its products and services in Canada due to market conditions. Here's the other thing. Man, between Canada and Australia, you guys are really getting boned out there. I saw, what was it, in Australia? A price of Mario Kart was like $160 or $150 for Mario Kart World. Are we serious, Nintendo? Affected products include Nintendo Switch OLED, Nintendo Switch Lite, physical, all the stuff I already talked about. Other Nintendo products, including Amiibo, Switch Online memberships, will also see price increases. The Switch 2, along with the accessories and software, will remain at their current price points. Again, Nintendo might have been able to make sense of this if they raised the Switch 2 in Canada too. I'd be like, I don't love it, but maybe they really are financially strapped with what's happening right now. By them keeping the Switch 2 at the same price point, that tells me no, that's not it at all. New pricing will be shared on the Nintendo Canada website on August 1st. The United States and Canada have imposed tariffs on each other's goods since President Trump sparked a trade war earlier this year. Retards! The Switches are not made in the United States. President Trump is not selling Nintendo products. Holy shit. Like, how stupid. It's got to be TDS at this point. It's got to be TDS. Because what the hell does a trade war between the United States and Canada have to do with Nintendo's coming from out of country, off the continent, from somewhere else? Trump has nothing to do with this. Well, why would you even mention Trump here? Andy, why are you mentioning Trump? Does Andy Robinson, does he have Trump derangement syndrome? It's pretty impressive. Last week, Trump, he still goes on. Sorry, I thought that was the end of it. Last week, Trump said he was cutting off trade talks with Canada immediately due to what he called egregious 3% tax on American tech companies. Oh, okay, and? Which is estimated to cost corporations such as Amazon, Apple, and Google more than $2 billion a year. Am I missing something? The Switches are not produced in America. How the hell would his Canadian tariffs have anything to do with the price of the Switch and the Switch 2 or anything that Nintendo sells in Canada? What does Trump have anything to do with any of this? The global economy has already seen price increases in the video game console market, even before many of Trump's tariffs were introduced earlier this year. Notably, Nintendo was forced to delay pre-orders of the Nintendo Switch 2 in the US before it announced new higher prices for many of the console's accessories. And then it goes on talking about Microsoft raising prices and Sony raising prices. So he's trying to tie it back to like, oh no, all this Trump stuff, Trump, Orange Man bad. Yeah, Trump, bad. And then he's like, pull the lens back. Well, it's actually the whole global economy, but it's because of Trump, really. Like, bro, how about the corporations just really greedy? Because here's one way you know. Ready? One way you absolutely know that this is not the tariffs doing it. Ready for this? Here you go. What's that say? Nintendo ADR, over-the-counter Nintendo NTDOY. This is their over-the-counter traded U.S. stock that trades off the Tokyo Exchange from them. This is today. This is 5 days. This is 1 month. This is max. They are at an all-time high in the history of Nintendo existing. Their stock is at an all-time high today. But yeah, Trump bad and global economic uncertainty. Right, bro. Yeah. I'm sure that's why they got to keep raising the prices. Not to, hey, shareholders, people keep buying shit, so we can keep raising the prices and making even more money right now. Might actually be the reason. Corporate greed. And I'll leave it at that.